Oh, good, good.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
And today is okay, and we're sort of we're in the front yard or on the driveway actually, and Pat, just so you can envision this virtual scene, we're standing sort of on the driveway, um, looking at the front door, pretty much, and what we see is a little mailbox. It ought to be black, but there didn't have a black one, but it's about the right shape and it's in about the right location. And that probably calls for a caveat that remains and maybe always will remain a work in progress. So there's things that are missing in ways. There's things that are placeholders because the software that we've used to develop this virtual Jefferson Street house just doesn't have, say, the right couch or the right drapes or something like that. So, so we, but we do have a close representation of it. And so we're going to move to the front door, walk across. Hmm?
Bill,
Hmm?
would it be okay for me to share some memories of the front porch and the front door?
Absolutely, of course. That's where we are.
All right. I have three memories that I would like to share. The first one is the holly tree, just right off the front porch there, that fairly large holly tree that Mom would keep trimmed. And every year, flocks of cedar waxwings would swoop through that holly tree and eat the berries. And that was kind of like the swallows of Capistrano.
Oh, what a neat concept.
Yeah, and so, oh, they are. And, I remember them as being, I had remembered them as being a bit large, not huge, not big, not robin-sized birds, but we were at Kimberly's one time, and she has a holly tree off of her deck, and there were cedar waxwings in it, and I was surprised that they really are quite small, uh,
Oh,
more like more like the finches, maybe a size of a finch.
that small?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. So that was one memory. Um, the other memory was of a picture that I can just see in my brain of being on the front porch with Margaret. And Margaret is maybe about two, maybe about two. Um, and Margaret was a late bloomer when it came to growing hair. And and I had made a wig for her out of corn silks. And so it's a picture of me and Margaret, and Margaret has on her corn silk wig.
Oh, it,
I have a picture of that.
I was going to ask that. There really is. Oh, that'd be great to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little Dutch boy.
I
Yeah,
have little bangs and
it did. Yes. Yeah. 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 That was fun. And then the last memory I have is of which I've shared before with you, but we weren't recording it at the time, was of every once in a while, Mom would bake bread so that it was warm out of the oven when we would get home from school. I was in junior high, I think, at the time, so I had a bit of a longer walk than Margaret and Stan. But I would walk up the driveway and onto the porch, and before I even opened the door, I could smell that fresh bread. It was such a
Mm.
treat. So those are my memories of the front door and the porch.
Those are good memories. That's great. Where was the holly? Was the holly bush like at the corner of the dining room, outside dining room? Is that where that was?
It was just straight off from the porch. If you walked off straight out the front
Uh,
door, off the
uh,
porch, you'd run into the holly tree.
you ran into the holly tree. I remember there being like a low evergreen thing there. I remember trimming it with those clippers, those the big long clippers they use to trim hedges.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. But a holly, how did we ever clip holly things to decorate inside?
Maybe.
I have a holly tree memory, a couple.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
Do you remember Dad putting the Christmas lights on it one year?
I don't either.
Um, and I have a memory of Dad trimming that bush, and he had made what's it called, a jig out of wood, so that he could get it perfect, a perfect cone shape that.
Oh my goodness.
I use
Oh,
it to guide like trimmed when he trimmed it.
Yeah,
Is that right? Oh, good
yeah.
for him.
well, I
Good.
remember that it was always a beautiful shape. It wasn't straggly or anything. It was, fairly compact and a really pretty shape to it.
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah. I had a text back from Kim.
Oh, oh,
Yeah. She said, "Oh shoot. Yes, I completely forgot.
dear. Oh dear.
I I got buried in doing something and completely lost track of the day and time. If you're still on, give everybody my love."
Okay. All right. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she needs a gentle reminders on Thursdays.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Um,
No, no, she
yeah,
wasn't.
with the
I,
dogs.
I I could tell her that. I said, "Well, we're glad you're not in a ditch."
That's the good news. Ready to move on?
Yes.
Not of the holly tree. No.
Yeah, yeah. You would. You would. Here in Bandon, there's a surprising number of holly trees. If you pay attention, if you keep your eyes peeled for holly trees, there's actually quite a few around here, and it's just sort of thing that you don't see if you're not looking for them. Um, and uh, uh, we have brought in holly clippings here to as part of the decorations in the apartment here, and they're really, the red and the green. It's really quite pretty. Yeah.
Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Oh, nice.
This would be from the tree there in the near the front door. Sure, of course. Well, of course, of
Be-
course.
Because you
That's
were
neat.
selling bags of it, right?
I have a front door memory,
Okay.
actually maybe a couple. The one I know I've already shared with you guys, but it's the one I can remember being out in the front yard with the Powell kids and Stan, and it was summer, and we had that glass storm door on the front door, a screen door and glass storm door. Do you remember that?
I do.
Um, and I shoved Stan into it and broke the glass window.
Oh no.
And I ran.
Good plan.
I ran and over to the Powell's yard, and Mom came to the front door, and I can remember her, kind of scowling and going, "What happened?" No, to the front door, that just to our house.
So that was before you ran over to the Pals, is it?
Well, I was looking from afar at
I
the,
see.
I was so afraid of getting the paddle. Yeah,
That happens so often.
it
Oh
did.
yeah, yeah. Being brutalized by that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I don't think I ever made it into their house. I just remember standing on their front lawn.
I mean, I wonder if we did Mom have an extradition treaty with Mrs. Powell? I wonder. Drag you back over the border?
Don't know. I, I just remember everybody looking kind of shocked, kind of like, oh, you're going to get it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See it all coming.
Yeah. No, I don't think you did, but I broke the window.
What happened to the door? Dad gets home, gets through beating children senseless, and what? Takes the door off? What happened
Well,
to the
it
door?
was,
Anybody
it
remember?
was, as I remember it, it was the piece that would slide up and down.
Uh-huh.
So I imagine they had to take it out and just take it in someplace and get the glass replaced.
Oh, I was sort of envisioning just shambles, kind
Oh,
of.
I don't remember glass falling out of it or anything. I remember it staying intact. I just remember it being shattered though, just all broken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was probably that safety glass.
I
Probably.
hope.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
The virtual image that we have here doesn't have a sidewalk running in front of the house or a porch as of this time. But that is, I suspect, will be added. So what we're going to do next is move up closer to the front door and uh, have a close-up view of the mailbox. That's a great mail. What's the only one, virtually the only nailed to the wall mailbox that the application had. It's too bad it's not totally black, but it's pretty close. Better than some of our placeholders. I know that. Someone had pointed that the front door had a window near the top. In fact, it was three little windows all in a line. They didn't have a door that looked anything like that. If they had a door that had a window, a little window toward the top, I would have used it. They didn't have that. So what I did was glue, virtually glue, three little mirrors. So these are mirrors up here to
Perfect.
represent. Yeah, this is part of that placeholder kind of
Oh,
that we have. Um, so going in to the living, we'll walk through the door. That's the way we'll navigate here, and go into the living room. And here we see
oh,
the
green
play.
wall. Nice.
Okay, we got green walls, and maybe that's a decent enough green color.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Although these colors they have a lot of adjustments that one can make. So if the colors aren't quite right, that's one of the things we can fix. But we have a vase of tulips on the uh, radio record player with a picture above it. It's not the right picture, but it's a representative of the right picture. And we see the door to the hallway there. Um, a couch, again, not the right color, uh, but it's unfortunately I can't change colors to this. I get the color that they have for this particular couch, and this was the greenest couch that I could find. Green couches wasn't big in their inventory. We're looking kind of toward the window here that overlooks where the garage is, the driveway is, and there's a picture above the couch, a lamp, and a rocking chair. It's again a placeholder rocking chair. Um, uh, that was I think this was supposed to be. Was this the platform rocking chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a platform. Okay. Um, Various treasures. Here's more of a low cabinet table combination, and this represents the TV set that was in that corner. I'm going to move over closer to the couch now, and just continue to rotate around here in the living room. We have some curtains that were green. We do think and full length, and uh, and kind of it seems to do a fairly good job of representing those drapes that we had. The front window, I think, had panes in it, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a solid sheet of glass, and there was no window like that. But still, that's the window. Oh, that's right. That's right. The amber-colored vase that was collecting money. I understand it was a money magnet.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh. Yeah, that was a southern exposure
Yes.
side.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. That's true. As I recall, we're not sure where the money in that thing came from. That vase. I see. And you and Margaret would on occasion pour them out and count them, and I
Maybe.
suppose arrange them in stacks or something like that. Well,
I have no idea.
yeah, but it sounds like you had.
I remember it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not specifically, no, but I suspect, like you, it has already been said that it was probably mom and dad would put mostly pennies in there. I think there was more than just pennies, but and it seemed to me that after a while it got pretty heavy with change in there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Uh, I don't know for sure, but I suspect mom and dad.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They had all the money.
They did have.
It's looking through this window from from when we first moved in. There were a lot of changes in the view out that window. There was an empty field, as I recall, straight across the street from us, wasn't there?
Yes, there
Empty lot,
was. Yeah.
maybe a lot, not so much a field, but an empty lot.
Mhm.
At some point, I don't know, in 61, had they put that, was it a duplex they put in over there?
Yes, it was. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And when we first moved in, there was an airport down in the valley, uh,
Mm-hmm.
just virtually straight west of there, and it was neat to see the little airplanes taking off and landing
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
there. That was
Was.
and Uncle Dick, I believe, got a pilot's license, and I think we all went down to the airport when he did his solo, and I
Wow.
vaguely remember that.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I don't remember that at all, but I do remember the airport.
yeah, uh, what was it, Uncle Dick that got the air? Somehow I think it's Uncle Dick, but maybe it's Uncle Bob. Uncle Dick lived in Roseburg, so why would he be up here to get a license? I don't quite understand that.
I I I don't know either. I do remember that he did have a pilot's license though.
Dick or Bob?
Dick.
Okay, so it must have been Dick. Must have been Uncle Dick.
Yeah.
Uh, mhm.
Oh, go ahead, Stan.
Yeah, and a daughter. There was an older daughter of doubtful reputation, I understand.
I do because I was friends with the daughter of doubtful reputation. We were the same age.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
That was a sad. What was the name? Freezies, right? Was that the name?
Sounds
Last name?
right to me.
I think so.
I
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think that that is right. Although the girl Betty was not their biological daughter. She was like a niece or some relative of that nature. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
mhm.
So, Stan, why did you say with good reason she had a questionable reputation? Oh,
Yeah, I honestly do not remember. I cannot bring a memory of what the boys looked like. I remember the situation that about the thievery and that I could not tell you what happened to them. course, they were juveniles, so, whether they went off to, what was it, Woodburn, to
Oh, the juvenile thing.
juvenile detention there at Woodburn.
Mhm.
I couldn't tell you for sure. But Betty was a pretty girl, and she knew it, and she conducted herself in a manner, in a rather enticing manner when it came to boys. So she probably had a reputation also, um, um, as far as that is concerned.
Was mom
But
okay with you being friends with her?
apparently, yeah, well, she wasn't caught stealing anything, so
Okay.
Maybe the problem was that she was giving away things. So that was such a sad situation. I remember the man of the family having black, greasy-looking hair, and he's sort of a thin kind of person, as I remember. And Mrs. Freezy was a bit overweight. Although I don't think not excessively. It looked beat up. That's the way I'm remembering it today. I don't know if I had that impression then, but I do now. And that really that's such a sad situation that was going on, and and almost it seemed like it would be hopeless to be able to do much to improve it.
yeah.
If you'd won the lottery, let's say you were empowered financially, what could you do to make it really better? I don't know that there was much you could do. I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts about that? Yes,
Yeah.
unpaid. Yes, yeah. Maybe Mrs. Powell had a petition about that too. Naturally. Uh, uh,
Have a word with them.
yeah, have a word with the pups. Yeah, that family was just, as an adult looking back at it, uh, uh, it's a very sad situation. I didn't have any firsthand knowledge of things like that, and that was the closest to Ma and Pa Kettle without the humor that I knew of. I think.
I remember them. I remember that chicken coop and that, yeah. I do, yeah. Stan, do you remember sweet summer evenings playing down in that field with the grass that was about 3 feet high, and we would build tunnels through it and rooms and play out there until it was dark, and we'd be out with the street light. The street light was right there on the corner.
Right,
And,
correct.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of bachelor buttons growing in the fields there.
I I can just smell that grass, that when he
Uh, mm,
What neat memories.
yeah.
What a great time to grow up. I don't know that I know anybody that has a childhood experiences like that right now. Maybe there are some, but I don't know them.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, uh-huh. I don't remember. Oh, I don't remember.
We could throw it in the soup with that bone that we borrowed from the little
Oh,
big Y.
oh, so, yeah, do you
Talk
remember?
about Ma and Pa Kettle. We were
Do,
living the and feeling sorry for the folks across the street. My gosh, I never thought of that.
yeah,
Oh,
Dan, do you remember when the street sweeper swept up a dead cat right on the corner of Mrs. Goldie's place, and Mom made us go out and pick that dead cat up?
Oh,
Did we use it in our soup? Do you think?
now this is getting a little hard for even for me to believe. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
It been there a while. Yeah. Maybe Mom did. Maybe we just went out and looked at it, but for some reason I'm remembering that Mom wanted us to go out, and she probably didn't like seeing it there and
sure.
probably buried it. But
Yeah, yeah,
I don't. I remember her wanting us to go get it. So maybe I'm wrong.
hmm.
Give it a
yeah,
proper burial. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No, uh,
Oh,
oh, uh-huh. Right, right. What as a kid, what would you know? Huh? Oh
oh,
Oh,
no. Oh, you
oh,
poor kid. Oh, and a poor woman, for that matter. Probably more significantly, the poor woman.
oh,
Oh, God, that's awful. That's
wow.
awful.
Wow. Do
You
you
know,
remember what?
there's, excuse me, it's just she lived across the street, the Allen's place, and the Powell's place, and maybe she would think about how she compared to them. And oh God, that's awful.
Hmm.
That's all. That's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask Stan if he remembers what he did then. Did you come home and tell Mom what had happened? To try to get a better explanation as to what poor meant, or do you remember at all what you did after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
If we had a magic wand, would any of us wave the magic wand and say know what has happened to the boys and the girl today? What their life is like today, if any?
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
It would be interesting. I don't know if I'd do it though. I think I'd be curious. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it.
Oh,
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that.
hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Not a video clip.
Oh,
I can see that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a friend who lived down the 23rd Street, Chuck Hodges, which some of you might remember, and I've actually some years ago I tried doing a lookup on Chuck Hodges, couldn't find him, and I was curious, just what was his life like? Was he even still alive? Was he in Eugene? If he was around and he was in agreement, I thought it might be fun to get a cup of coffee and just talk about what's going on.
Oh my goodness. Wow. But
Yeah.
nothing showed up about him, huh?
No, couldn't find a thing about Chuck Hodges, Charles Hodges. No.
Hmm. Interesting.
Shall we move on?
Well, I just had just getting back to the freezies.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
uh, do any of you, and do any of us, remember who lived in that house before they did? Or did they always live there? Do you have any
I have no previous Freezy knowledge.
Yeah, I don't either. Hmm. Okay, we can move on if everybody else is ready to move on.
Okay. Well, continuing the rotation here, we have this is a placeholder for that slope front. What is it, secretary? Is that what we call that?
Yeah.
That desk-like thing that belongs here. And a rather large circular mirror that uh, that we went the wrong way. Dad's chair. I think of this as Dad's chair. I remember sitting in this reading like a Edgar Rice Burroughs book, uh,
Mm,
sitting sideways, legs over
yeah,
the and this, you know, like kids do. And the
yeah.
front door has mirrors on this side representing those three windows. So
Did it have an ashtray on a stand?
there was one that stood on the floor. It's about what, maybe 3 feet, maybe a little less than 3 feet
Uh-huh.
tall. Yeah, yeah. Metal. I think the thing was black. My recollection is most of it was black, and then maybe the ashtray part of it was chrome or light chrome plated. I think.
Mm,
I always find myself wondering, whatever happened to that thing? Whatever happened to this mirror, for
mm,
example? We know some. We know where the secretary is, for
Yeah,
example.
right.
We know where this chair is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Pat
So,
has.
so we,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, yeah,
I have it.
absolutely. Yeah,
No,
It's
I
clever,
do.
it's
yeah,
clever,
yeah.
guys. It's cleverly disguised and stored at Margaret's.
Yes.
So you have it, but it's at
I
Margaret.
have it, but
Got it.
Margaret's storing it.
Got it. Oh,
Mhm.
that's clever. That's clever. I do, but I'd like to hear yours.
Oh, oh dear.
I have one too, Stan, so don't feel bad.
Well, I have one too, so don't both of you feel bad.
Well, uh,
Pat?
the memory that I have is a pleasant one, so I'll say
Oh,
yes.
let's save. How could we save it for dessert?
Yeah,
You could be last.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just uh,
Oh,
Right. Would you know at that whatever age you were? Would you know the difference at that time? Okay. Uh-huh. Right. Right. you you weren't off to a good start, were you? Oh.
Aw.
Well, that has an element of tragedy in my view.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I do. Again, I was also sitting on Dad's lap, and we were watching TV. And I guess I was sitting very still. And he complained to me, he says, "Can't you ever sit still?" And
Criticizing you, your behavior. Oh.
it's the only time I ever remember sitting on his lap.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it,
That is a tragedy. That's a little tragedy.
yeah, I felt so bad. I felt so, I can't even sit right.
Yeah. Can't I do anything right? Yeah. In a little person view, young person's view. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's somewhat similar to, there's a theme here, I think, with my story. Dad was sitting in this chair, reading a book, and this doesn't involve me sitting in his lap. I was standing. I was probably older, uh, early grade school, I would say, and asking him questions as best that little kid could ask about what was going on in the story. I just wanted to talk with him to talk with me, and I don't believe I got a very satisfactory answer. Uh,
Mm.
uh, there was I don't. I think I felt disappointed. I don't know I felt rejected, although maybe I did. It would make sense.
Mm.
But I remember just wanting some attention from him. But from the first two stories here, getting that attention, maybe I was better off not getting the attention because it would have had a negative component to it.
Mm.
So that's my tragedy.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Hmm. Oh, oh, well, of course, of course.
Oh, you go ahead. That's fine.
Uh huh. Ah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Right. Uh huh. Uh huh.
Freddie?
That might have been Fred. I think. I think it might be Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Fred. Yeah. Oh, right. Right. No, 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 no. I love your point of view. Uh huh. Right. 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 Well, yeah. uh, you're you have all the important parts of it there. It was an attempt Bill the engineer in the early years, I suppose, and it was the idea of doing that was pretty good. The tools were not adequate for it in particular, but that's what I was trying to do was to see whether that design would show a good flow of the air for that engine. Uh, I didn't have the knowledge or the resources really to do that well. It was a neat engine. I like design. It was the engine for that go-kart was a twin cylinder, just side by side uh, a design, and and as it turned out, that motorcycle, that little Indian twin that I had was also a twin cylinder side by side engine. And neat, I don't, I just like the design, and I like it to this day.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so Pat.
Well, the memory that I have of Dad and that chair, um, like you, Bill, I was not sitting in his lap, but Dad, we have reminisced over Dad's popcorn before, but Dad would serve us popcorn in cones made out of newsprint.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember that.
And I remember Dad sitting in the chair with his cone of popcorn, and the rest of the family was spread out through the living room. But I just have that distinct memory of him sitting there with his cone of popcorn.
Oh, neat. That's neat. Did we put butter on that stuff?
I don't know. I don't know that it was every time, but frequently, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Or he'd pop it in that bacon grease.
Right. I remember that more often than I don't have a specific recollection of butter on
Hmm.
popcorn
Hmm.
at home. Uh, that is a good memory. That's a
Yeah.
positive memory. Stan, are
I,
we losing track of time?
Well, I need to get going. I have a lot to do to get ready for my trip. So um, I'm going to have to sign off.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. And we got all the way to the living room.
yeah.
In the front door and
Right. Right.
oh, yeah.
You're right. Out of
Yeah.
newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
May I this will just take a few seconds to share another pleasant memory that I have of Dad. Um, is walking at night, walking with Dad over to the church from home, and he would take my hand, hold my hand. He would put my hand in his hand in his pocket, in his jacket pocket, and
Oh, that's neat.
I remember that. I don't know, it may have only happened once, but I
Yep.
remember that instance. And
You only need one.
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I have that same memory, Pat.
Do you? Oh, great.
Neat.
Wow,
Neat.
that's great.
That is neat. That
Yeah.
is neat.
I don't remember that. No. It is a long way.
That's a
I
pretty
wonder.
good load.
I wonder. I must have just been tired. I don't. Uh-huh. I remember Dad carrying me upstairs, and I must have gone. Did I go through a period of time where I was plagued with headaches? You know,
I
I
don't
don't know
remember
either.
that either.
I remember both Mom and Dad. Dad carried me, and Mom was walking ahead of him up the stairs. I don't know why I was sleeping upstairs, but anyway, Dad carrying me up to bed, and I had such a horrible headache.
Oh, oh.
I think
Yeah.
they were worried about me.
But why upstairs? Why, this
Yeah,
upstairs part? I don't
I don't
understand that.
know. I don't know. I know that Stan and I shared that
Uh-huh.
big bedroom at one point. Dad built a divider to give us 2 rooms, up there.
Yeah, you got the nice, access to the good bedroom.
I got the window end of the room too. So
Ah, special.
because I remember laying in bed at night next to the window after Dad had taken us to see the birds, and
Oh no.
scared to death that the birds were going to come crashing through that window.
So Dad's legacy of hauling tender aged children off to scary movies persisted.
It was
Right.
tradition.
That didn't come out very well in this episode.
No,
Rejection, not spelling well. Oh, dear.
poor
You
Dad.
can't hold still, Margaret. Oh, poor
No.
guy. Poor guy.
Oh dear.
Well, okay, kiddies. One thing we're not good at is quitting, I've noticed.
We're
Yeah.
not good at no,
Yeah,
but
we're not good at that. And that's a good thing.
and I had a good time even if I couldn't see the screen.
Oh,
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Obviously you participated with enthusiasm, and that's wonderful.
Well, that's what I have is enthusiasm once in a while.
Okay. Okay. That's yeah. It was fun. I'm glad we did it.
It was. Yep.
was fun. Thank you.
Okay.
And I am going to then stop recording. Say click.